Hello, this is Jerry Purcell with another vignette from our newest book, Innovation by Design. Today we're going to talk about seamless integration and leading practices for global innovators. When thinking about innovation and change, it's important to think about the fact that humans, all of us, often think that things are not proceeding as well as they could be. And in fact, we're often doing much better than we all think. In research all over the world, and along with the engagement with many different organizations and markets, we've uncovered what leaders do to be successful in innovation. And we've developed the most comprehensive set of data on the planet. The truth is, the world has accomplished much tangible change and is in far better shape than many of us think, and certainly since the progress that's been made, from previous generations. For example, in 1980, roughly 40% of the world's population lived in extreme poverty, subsisting on less than $2 a day. That number has fallen below 10% for the first time in history. Global child mortality rates are now half of what they were in 1990. And roughly 300,000 people, that's about half the population of Wyoming, for example, gain first-time access to electricity and its related health effects every single day. There are real opportunities to improve innovation efforts on a global scale, and we have the data that suggests how. Importantly, there has never been a better time for business and other organizations in terms of innovation, because our customers are all demanding innovation on many fronts. We have a secret weapon, and that is that humans have one big advantage. Every one of us has full access to an infinitely varied and vastly underused resource, our ability to innovate. So true innovators apply much better probabilities or have much better probabilities for success when they work within a structure and support a well-conceived and managed innovation system. That's what our book is about. In today's vignette, I'm going to talk about innovation management systems, and in particular, the complexities and dimensions that are reflected in the portfolios that many organizations have. Innovation is multidimensional, and if we think about it in the context of three horizons, Horizon 1, 2, and 3, these take place over a continuum from certainty to uncertainty. And we talk about that in a great deal inside the book. But traditional organizations have used hierarchies and centralized control of information to manage innovation and these horizons. But tension often exists between the nodes, and centralized models or decentralized models often result in a recurring cycle moving back from central to decentral and then back again. Complexity is high, and the challenges represented in areas such as customer needs, sustainability, and the ongoing evolution of digital technologies, to name a few, have never been greater. So we're often faced with what seem like existential challenges, and traditional approaches to solving these challenges seem woefully inadequate at times. We think that operating models should be more akin to a network of local organizations than driven by traditional hierarchical principles. This approach provides the right ingredients for radical innovation and the cultural characteristics that will drive collaboration, and are an essential factor for successful change. This thinking is based on the premise that complex systems can be made scalable and manageable through the repetition of simple processes or structures. In the organizational context, this translates into a value chain where each element or cell operates autonomously, yet in alignment with the overarching vision and strategy of the organization, with every element of the organization reflecting the whole. This approach emphasizes a symbiotic relationship between and across all levels of the organization, facilitates a seamless integration of innovation initiatives, and aligns with the overarching vision and objectives of the organization, and gets us closer to our customers. On the slide, you'll see the beginnings of a schematic which will evolve over the course of the discussion today. It reflects the three horizons that we spoke about, and in effect, each of the dimensions, each of the horizons reflects the characteristics of H1, H2, or H3. So it starts with a tactical H1 initiative. That's a new innovation that takes place, and the green arrow in the bottom reflects inputs from outside, be it innovation entities, be it internal or external customers, stakeholders, like that. So we start with a new innovation, which reflects change that goes on in the organization. It's often the case when initiatives are underway within an innovation management system that new ideas will emerge. And often those ideas are outside of the domain or the ability of the organization to respond to them. In fact, they may need additional testing or other action taking place. In this case, we have an idea that's been identified that is reflected in an H2 environment, and in effect, what it is an opportunity to use an existing system or technology in a different way, or combine elements that haven't been combined before, and so it requires piloting and experimentation. So in this case, that initiative gets passed on to an H2 environment for action. But also, in those conversations that take place around this new idea, a decision will be made over time around the handling or the spiking. In other words, this is a good idea to be identified, which may reflect the initiative being temporarily canceled or put aside, or ideas that reflect a more platform-oriented innovation opportunity, and would be reflected in a handoff to a different kind of innovation management team that has the skills and expertise to be able to deal with that H2 initiative. Based on that, new opportunities may be identified and either handed back to the H2 environment, or ultimately may find their way back into the H1 environment for action from a tactical perspective. Future platform ideas can also be generated in the H3 environment, the exploration environment, reflecting ideas that are fall within that domain of entirely uncertain, where research and development is taking place, and where opportunities have been identified, where experimentation can take place in a more sort of technical, practical way. In that case, the initiatives get passed into an IMS at the H2 level. Future service ideas can be reflected in the same way. So in the exploration and research that's being done in that H3 environment, those opportunities can then be passed on to an H2 environment that is focused on services. And ideas, through the testing, through the experimentation, through piloting, can be identified for development and commercialization and handed on to the H1 initiative, H1 team that can then take action to address and implement those opportunities. Thank you very much for participating in today's vignette. I hope that you found it thought-provoking, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on these principles, as well as the other principles that are outlined in the book around innovation management systems. We believe that a healthy innovation ecosystem is a necessity for the long-term success of any organization, but particularly those of a global scale, and also small and medium-sized enterprises that are innovating in their domain. Contributing to making the world a healthier and a better place globally is a key reason why we wrote this book. We see many challenges on the path towards building the capabilities broadly in the world to address the global innovation gap, but we have one big advantage. Remember, as human beings, every one of us has full access to an infinitely varied and vastly underutilized resource, our ability to innovate. We can think our way quite literally out of anything. One of the messages of this book is that thinking is just part of the challenge of innovation. Executing change is a critical second part. I encourage you to read more of our book. There will be details in the note attached to this video on how to acquire a copy of your own. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you on the next vignette. Thanks.